I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're talking to Glenda Marsh about her powerful book, an amazing book. It is called Shattered Dreams, A Mother's Fight for Justice. It is a deeply emotional memoir that tells the story of her son, Jeffrey J.J. Thomas Jr., whose life was tragically cut short during a police pit maneuver. With unflinching honesty, the author recounts how JJ's vibrant life as a son, father, and community member, alongside her own heartbreaking journey through grief, forgiveness, and relentless advocacy. It is a powerful memoir that highlights a mother's unwavering love and determination to seek awareness and justice, ensuring that her son's story inspires change. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Glenda, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Mr. Logan, for having me.
My pleasure. This is a powerful book. It's heartbreaking, of course. It deals with the death of your son. For the folks at home who don't know what a police pit maneuver is, tell us about that. What is a police pit maneuver?
Well, it's a technique that the police officers is required to use in case of someone is endangering a community or endangering or trying to endanger an officer. On my son's behalf, my son didn't do anything but get in his car and drive away from a business. And the time of day or night it was, I just feel like my son was scared on the highway to pull over, and he was just trying to get somewhere to pull over that was safe for himself and the officer. But the technique is where the officer get behind the car and hits the car to try to stop the car, or try to have a good decent, I guess, stop to get they got. But in this case, in a lot of cases, that the pit maneuver has been killing people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If a car is moving at a decent rate of speed, if it's tapped from behind, it can spin out of control. And the police should know that they're putting the public's life at risk. They're putting the suspect's life at risk. It's a dangerous situation. So I'd imagine part of your awareness campaign is to get police to stop this dangerous practice, right?
Yes, sir. That's my goal, and that's my justice. My justice is just don't want anybody else to go through what me and my family has to go through, just because of a traffic violation. I just don't feel like anybody should be able to lose their life over a traffic violation.
Exactly, exactly. Take note of the license plate, send a ticket in
Correct.
the mail, maybe
Correct.
send an arresting officer to the home the next day if they consider it such a huge infraction. But to put
Correct.
people's lives in danger like this seems absolutely sinful. And I know you feel the same way because you lost your son.
Yes.
Tell us about JJ. Tell us about his life. How would you like people to remember him?
I would like people to remember JJ Jeffrey as a fun, caring, loving person. He was the life of the room. When he comes around, you'll know he's there. He loved children. He also has a 8-year-old daughter, which she was 5 when this happened to him, and that was very, very close, very close. He was absolute dad's a girl. What is it? Girl's dad. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Girl's dad. He was
Daddy's little
absolutely,
girl. Yeah.
yeah, a girl's dad, yes. And I mean, he was just so excited about having a daughter, and she just loved him so much. Girls love their daddies anyway.
Yeah.
So they had a bond that I can't even explain. But yeah, I would like people to remember him as a fun going, loving person. Helps anyone, will help anyone, will give people a person the clothes off his back. It wasn't a homeless person we passed that he didn't stop and try to give whatever he had to him just to help him out. So that's what kind of a guy he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a very, very kind person. Sustaining you through this tragedy has been your faith. Tell us a little bit about how your relationship with God has helped you navigate this loss and the fight for justice.
Ooh, Mr. Logan, if it wasn't for God, Jesus Christ, I don't think I'll be able to make it. I have joined a choir to try and keep my faith. I've got rebaptized to know the Lord again better than what I did the first time. I just feel like now that me and him has a very deep personal relationship of our own, you know. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, me praying and my mother introducing me to God, I just don't know this right here. You wouldn't wish this on anyone losing a child. You just don't supposed to bury your children. Your children is supposed to bury you.
It's one of the worst things that could happen to anybody, the loss of a child. Like you said, nobody wants to live longer than their children. It seems unnatural, and it is unnatural, and it's a true tragedy. What was it like writing this book? It must have been difficult at times. It must have been heartwarming at times to remember JJ in happier times. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I was it was an emotional journey. And like I get caught up and choked up now even by talking about it. And I have written a book because it's so personal and it's still so fresh because losing a child just it doesn't go away. You know, my mother passed away and it's just a different feel about losing a mother and losing a child. It's just so much different. And I would get mad at times writing it, you know, and I have to stop because I don't want to put the wrong stuff in the book. And then I'll just get so sad at times, you know, because, you know, of telling the story. Who would think they would ever be telling a story about, you know, the murder of your son, you know? And then I'll get happy thinking about the happy times that we had together because we love going out of town, taking family trips and just stuff like that it got me through of writing the book.
Yeah. Has there been any justice? What has happened since JJ died? Has anybody been held accountable?
No, sir. No one has been held accountable. I have had no one to reach out to me, not a NAACP or a community group or even the Georgia State Patrol. No one has reached out to me and said anything, not a regards or anything, nothing.
Awful. Awful. And as far as trying to eliminate police using this pit maneuver, have you had any success there?
Well, me and some of the young ladies who I rallied with, because you know this is not my son is not the first child has been or person has been killed with this technique, this pit maneuver. So I have five other mothers that we protest about it, and we have had a bill go across the White House. So hopefully we're getting people attention about this pit maneuver because it just shouldn't be happening. No one should have to worry about losing their life just driving. You know, and the very one person that I told my kids that will take care of them is the very same person that took one of my kids away from me.
I know, I know. It's horrible. It's horrible. And it's needless and it's pointless and it's ridiculous. That whenever I'm driving down the street and I see a police officer even chasing someone at a high rate of speed, it's just like let them go. There's
Right,
a million ways to catch people without chasing them with your car. You're
right,
putting people's lives in
and that,
danger,
right.
probably in more danger than even the suspect poses to the community. So don't feel it. And people just recently in New York City were injured when a car was being chased by a police officer. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and people were hit. So I do believe that practice has to stop. We talked a little bit about JJ's daughter. How is she doing? It must be tough growing up without a dad, but she's got a grandma who loves her and she's got other family
Yeah.
members, right?
Yes, yes. She has two uncles that is JJ's brother by me, and they just love her up. You know, they can't take JJ place, but they do a very good job. And she gets sad, very sad sometimes. But we got her back from Build-A-Bear and put JJ's voice in it, and her school lets her bring it to school, and the school has a desk for him and everything. So that kind of helps her out a whole lot.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How old is she now?
She's 8 now.
She's 8 years old. How old was she when she lost her dad?
5.
5. Okay,
Mhm.
so this has been a 3-year nightmare for you.
Almost 11 1.23. That's the name of the book. January the 23rd is 22 is when he lost his life. So it's
Okay.
almost 3 years. We're coming
Yeah,
up on 3 years.
yeah. That'll be a painful anniversary, no doubt. And hopefully you getting the word out there about his pointless death, about his murder, as you put it, um, changes people's hearts, changes legislation, changes people's minds, and changes police protocol as well. The name of the book is Shattered Dreams, A Mother's Fight for Justice. It is a deeply emotional memoir that tells the story of her son, Jeffrey J.J. Thomas Jr., whose life was tragically cut short during a police pit maneuver. With unflinching honesty, the author recounts her son's life as a vibrant son, father, and community member. She also tells of her own heartbreaking journey through grief, forgiveness, and relentless advocacy. Glenda, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so very much for having me, and hopefully and pray for me that this message get out and we can get that taken care of and stop in the whole world.
Absolutely. God bless you, and I will keep you in my prayers. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.